The wind whipped through the open plains of Wyoming as Clara stepped off the train. A mail-order bride with a fierce determination, her mission to tame Brimstone, a wild stallion that had defeated 30 seasoned cowboys. The challenge was daunting, especially with the wealthy rancher, Mr. Calter, watching closely. Clara, dressed in a simple white dress and armed with little more than a letter and her courage, approached Calter with confidence. A woman of grit and resilience, she was ready to prove her worth against the odds. Calter, a rich rancher haunted by his past, was skeptical yet intrigued. Could Clara succeed where so many had failed? As she faced the challenge of taming Brimstone, she not only aimed to win the rancher's respect, but also to discover her own strength. Would she forge an unbreakable bond with the stallion and the rancher? Or would her journey end in failure? The story unfolds in the vast, rugged landscapes of Wyoming in the late 1800s, where the sky meets the horizon in an endless expanse of blue. Brant Ranch, owned by the wealthy but reclusive Mr. Calter, is a sprawling estate known for its cattle and the infamous wild stallion. Brimstone, the ranch, with its weathered wooden fencing and rustic charm, reflects both the beauty and harshness of frontier life. While the ranch bustles with the daily activities of cowboys, the air is thick with tension and unfulfilled dreams. The local community holds a mix of admiration and skepticism for Calter, who has yet to find a way to tame Brimstone. June's arrival at the ranch is a breath of fresh air, disrupting the status quo. She represents hope and determination in a place filled with doubt and despair. Clara grew up in a small town, her dreams often overshadowed by societal expectations. She had always felt a call to adventure, drawn to the stories of the Wild West and the untamed spirit of horses. When her family faced financial struggles, Clara took a leap of faith and became a mail-order bride, believing it would lead her to a better life. With little more than a desire to prove herself, she set her sights on training Brimstone, a stallion known for its fierce temperament and wild spirit. The tales of 30 cowboys who had failed to tame the beast only fueled her determination. Clara had always been a hard worker, skilled in riding and caring for horses, but she also carried the weight of her past, a sister who had passed away in a tragic accident. Clara took on her sister's name, hoping to honor her memory while forging her own path. Calter, on the other hand, was a man of wealth and status, but burdened by grief. After losing his wife, he became a shell of his former self, drowning in loneliness and regret. The ranch that once brought him joy now felt like a prison, and the wild stallion had become a symbol of his own struggles. When Clara arrived, he was intrigued by her confidence, yet wary of her intentions. Calter's challenge for Clara was more than just a test. It was a reflection of his own fears and doubts. He had watched countless cowboys fail, and the thought of another failure weighed heavily on him. Clara's presence, while refreshing, also stirred a mix of hope and skepticism within him. For Clara, taming Brimstone was not just about proving herself to Calter, but also a personal journey of self-discovery. She felt that if she could connect with the stallion, she could overcome her own fears and insecurities. However, with jealousy brewing among the ranch hands and doubts creeping into her mind, Clara had to navigate the challenges of training the wild horse while earning respect in a male-dominated world? Would she be able to face these obstacles head-on and find her place at Brant Ranch? Or would the shadows of her past hold her back? But fate had brought her to a challenge that would change everything. Upon arriving at Brant Ranch, Clara wasted no time. She approached Calter with confidence, asking directly if he was Mr. Calter. Her straightforwardness caught him off guard. With a firm handshake, she introduced herself and expressed her eagerness to train Brimstone. Calter raised an eyebrow, skepticism evident on his face. 30 cowboys have tried and failed, he warned. What makes you think you can succeed where they could not? Clara met his gaze, determination burning in her eyes. Because I believe Brimstone isn't just wild. He's afraid. I want to show him that he can trust me. Her words hung in the air, and for a moment, Calter saw a spark of something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. He nodded, offering her a chance to prove herself. As Clara began her work on the ranch, she quickly demonstrated her culinary skills, preparing meals that brought smiles to the faces of the ranch hands. Within 2 days, she witnessed Brimstone attack a young boy during feeding time instead of retreating. Clara stood her ground, refusing to let fear dictate her actions. Clara believed that Brimstone's aggressive behavior stemmed from fear rather than malice. Determined to show him that she meant no harm, she decided to approach the stallion without any tools, relying solely on her presence and calm demeanor. Each day, she made her way to the paddock, taking her time to simply stand near Brimstone, allowing him to become accustomed to her presence. She spoke softly to him, sharing stories of her dreams and aspirations, hoping to connect with the wild spirit within him. Calter observed Clara from a distance, intrigued by her patience and gentle approach. He had expected chaos, yet she seemed to be forging a bond with the stallion. As Clara continued to work with Brimstone, Calter began to notice subtle changes in both the horse and Clara. The more she worked with Brimstone, the more her confidence grew, and in turn, the stallion started to respond to her. As their relationship developed, Calter found himself drawn to Clara's unwavering determination. He admired her resilience and began to assist her, bringing hay and water to the paddock and clearing the area for her training sessions. Small gestures like these marked the beginning of their evolving relationship, showcasing the bond forming between them. Clara's persistence began to pay off as she slowly gained Brimstone's trust. After several days of standing near him, she was finally able to touch him, her fingers grazing his mane. The moment felt surreal, a breakthrough that filled her with a sense of accomplishment. However, with success came challenges. A jealous ranch hand named Jake started spreading rumors that Clara was only after Calter's fortune, undermining her efforts and intentions despite the gossip. Clara remained focused, determined to prove that her heart was in the right place. As Clara prepared for her first real challenge trying to ride Brimstone, she felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was her chance to showcase her bond with the stallion, but the stakes were high. If she failed, it could mean not only losing the respect of the ranch, but also jeopardizing her place in Calter's life. Calter's concerns grew as he watched Clara prepare for the upcoming event at the county fair. He wanted to support her, but couldn't shake the fear of what might happen if things went wrong. Would Clara's determination lead to triumph, or would it end in disaster? But the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty. and Clara would soon face her greatest test yet. The day of the county fair arrived, and excitement buzzed through the ranch. Clara felt a mixture of anticipation and anxiety as she prepared to ride Brimstone in front of a crowd. She wanted to prove not just her abilities, but also the bond she had built with the stallion. As they arrived at the fairgrounds, Clara could feel the eyes of the crowd upon her. Whispers of doubt and speculation swirled around her, especially from those who had witnessed the failed attempts of others. Jake stood in the background, smirking, ready to see her fail, and Clara's resolve hardened. Calter watched Clara from the sidelines, his heart racing. He had come to care for her deeply and wanted nothing more than to see her succeed. As she mounted Brimstone, he felt a surge of pride, but worry creased his brow. "Just breathe, Clara," he whispered, hoping she could hear him through the noise of the crowd. The moment she settled into the saddle, Clara felt a rush of confidence. She had worked hard for this, and she refused to let fear dictate her fate. The crowd hushed as Clara and Brimstone stood poised at the starting line. She could feel the weight of their expectations pressing down on her. Clara took a deep breath, reminding herself of the bond they had formed. Brimstone sensed her determination and shifted beneath her, ready to respond. As the race began, Clara urged Brimstone forward, feeling the power of the stallion beneath her. They galloped through the course, and Clara's heart soared with exhilaration. She felt free, connected to the horse in a way she had never imagined possible. However, just as they approached the final stretch, a rattlesnake slithered onto the path, startling Brimstone. The stallion reared up, throwing Clara off balance. In an instant, she knew she had to act quickly. With instinct kicking in, she steadied herself and spoke soothingly to Brimstone, urging him to calm down. The crowd gasped as Clara managed to regain her hold on the reins. But the danger was palpable. Would she be able to protect both herself and Brimstone from the impending chaos? In that moment of crisis, Clara's training and instincts took over. She remembered the lessons she had learned while working with Brimstone. "It's okay, boy. You're safe," she whispered, her voice steady and reassuring. Brimstone gradually calmed, recognizing Clara's presence and trust. With a gentle nudge, she guided him away from the snake, and the crowd erupted in applause as they crossed the finish line together. Clara's heart swelled with pride, not just for the victory, but for the bond she had forged with the stallion. Cole rushed to her side, his eyes filled with admiration. "You did it, Clara!" "I knew you could," he exclaimed, a wide smile spreading across his face. In that moment, Clara felt a rush of warmth and acceptance. She had proved herself not only to the community, but also to herself. She realized that her journey was about more than just taming a wild stallion. It was about finding her own strength and voice. As the crowd cheered, Clara turned to see Jake's expression twist with disbelief. She knew that the rumors he had spread were meaningless now. However, the victory was short-lived. As Clara dismounted, she noticed the tension in the air. Jake, fueled by jealousy, approached her with a sneer. "You think you've won? You're nothing but a fraud, riding on Calter's coattails." He spat, his words laced with venom. The crowd's cheers faded as they sensed the brewing confrontation. Clara felt a surge of anger, but knew she had to stay composed. "I earned my place here, Jake. I trained Brimstone, and I did it my way," she replied firmly, her voice steady. Calter stepped forward, his protective instincts kicking in. "Leave her alone, Jake. Clara has proven herself today," he stated, standing beside Clara with unwavering support. But Jake wasn't finished. "You think this is over? I'll make sure everyone knows you're just a mail-order bride looking for a handout," he threatened, eyes narrowing as he backed away. The tension hung heavy in the air, and Clara realized that this wasn't just a battle for respect. It was a fight for her identity and future. She couldn't allow Jake's words to define her. The confrontation marked a turning point, and Clara knew she had to stand her ground to protect everything she had worked for. In the days following the fair, the tension between Clara and Jake escalated. He continued to spread rumors, casting doubt on her character and intentions, despite the support from the community and Calter. Clara felt the weight of Jake's words pressing down on her as the gossip spread. Clara found herself struggling to maintain her confidence. She questioned whether she truly belonged at Brant Ranch or if she was merely a passing phase in Calter's life. The joy of her recent victory faded as self-doubt crept in, threatening to overshadow her accomplishments. Calter noticed Clara's change in demeanor, her vibrant spirit dimming under the pressure of Jake's taunts. He approached her one evening, concern etched on his face. "Clara, what's wrong? You've been distant since the fair." "I'm just tired." "Calter," she replied, avoiding his gaze. "I didn't realize how much the rumors would affect me. Maybe I don't belong here after all." "Don't say that," Calter urged, his voice filled with sincerity. "You're a part of this ranch. You've shown everyone what you can do. Don't let Jake's words define you." But Clara's heart felt heavy. The burden of doubt loomed large, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she had to prove herself once more, determined to regain her confidence. Clara made a bold decision. She would organize a community event at the ranch, showcasing her skills and inviting everyone to see the bond she had created with Brimstone. It was a risk, but she felt it was necessary to reclaim her place in the community. As Clara prepared for the event, she poured her heart into every detail. She decorated the ranch with flowers and set up a small arena for demonstrations. The excitement buzzed in the air, but so did the fear of potential failure. Calter supported her efforts wholeheartedly, helping to spread the word to neighbors and friends. He admired her strength and determination, knowing that this event could be a turning point for both of them on the day of the event. Clara felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. The ranch was filled with familiar faces, and as people gathered, she felt a surge of confidence. "Thank you all for coming," Clara began, her voice steady. "Today, I want to share the bond I've built with Brimstone and demonstrate that he is more than just a wild stallion." As she spoke, she could see Calter in the crowd, his encouraging smile giving her the strength she needed. Clara was ready to show everyone, including Jake, that she belonged here. As Clara prepared to demonstrate her training with Brimstone, she felt a rush of adrenaline. The crowd watched with anticipation, and she could sense the doubts lingering in the air. But she was determined to silence the whispers and prove her worth, with Brimstone standing proudly before her. Clara approached the stallion, her heart pounding with excitement. She spoke softly, recalling the bond they had forged over the past weeks. "You and me, buddy, Let's show them what we can do," she whispered. The moment she mounted Brimstone, a wave of exhilaration washed over her. The stallion moved with grace, responding to her cues with precision. The crowd erupted in applause, and Clara's confidence soared. But as they completed their routine, the unexpected happened. A sudden noise startled Brimstone, causing him to rear up. Clara clung tightly, feeling a surge of panic. In that instant, she had to choose: would she let fear dictate her actions, or would she trust the bond they had built? In a moment of clarity, Clara remembered the lessons she had learned, both with Brimstone and in her journey of self-discovery. She took a deep breath and steadied herself, calling on the connection they had formed to guide her through the chaos. The unexpected challenge would test not only her skills, but also the strength of the bond she had forged with Brimstone. As the crowd held its breath, Clara focused on calming Brimstone with her voice and touch. She whispered reassuringly, reminding him of their experiences together. "You're not alone, Brimstone. We've got this," with renewed determination. Clara shifted her weight and gently guided Brimstone back to a steady stance. The crowd erupted in cheers as they regained control, their bond evident in the way they moved together. As they continued their routine, Clara felt a sense of freedom. She had overcome not just the challenges of taming Brimstone, but also the doubts that had plagued her. The energy from the crowd filled her with confidence, and she knew in her heart that she was where she belonged. When they finished, the applause was thunderous. Clara dismounted Brimstone, her heart racing with exhilaration. She had proven herself, not just to the community, but to herself. Calter rushed forward, pride shining in his eyes. "You did it, Clara. I knew you could." In that moment, Clara felt a deep sense of belonging. She had faced her fears head-on, and the connection she had forged with Brimstone was a testament to her strength. However, just as Clara began to bask in the joy of her victory, Jake stepped forward, his face twisted in anger. "This is all a charade. You think you've won, but you're just a mail-order bride playing dress-up," he shouted, trying to incite doubt among the crowd. The atmosphere shifted as murmurs of uncertainty rippled through the attendees. Clara felt the weight of his words, and for a moment, doubt crept back into her mind. Had she only been pretending to belong? Calter stepped in front of Clara, anger flashing in his eyes. "You don't know anything about Clara or the work she's put in to earn her place here," he retorted, standing firm against Jake's accusations. Clara took a deep breath, rallying her strength. "You can spread your lies, Jake, but I know who I am, and I know what I've accomplished," she declared, her voice strong. "I didn't come here to take anything from anyone. I came to prove that I belong." With those words, Clara reclaimed her power. The crowd began to cheer for her, standing in solidarity against the negativity Jake had tried to instill. As the crowd rallied behind Clara, Jake's anger grew. "You'll regret this, Clara. You think you can take everything from me." He spat, but his words fell flat against the support she had garnered. Calter stepped closer to Clara, his presence a protective shield. "Let's not allow his words to taint this moment," he said quietly, his voice steady. Clara felt reassured by his support. The atmosphere shifted as the crowd's applause filled the air once more. Clara stood tall, Feeling the surge of confidence wash over her, she had proven her worth, not just in taming Brimstone, but in standing up for herself against the naysayers. As the celebrations continued, Clara and Calter shared a moment, their eyes locked in understanding. "You were incredible out there," he said, admiration evident in his tone. "You've shown everyone what you're capable of." "I couldn't have done it without you," Clara replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." In the days that followed, Clara and Calter worked together to strengthen their bond. They spent time getting to know one another, sharing stories of their pasts and dreams for the future. Clara learned about Calter's life before his wife's death and how he had struggled to find joy again. As they worked side by side, Clara realized that their relationship had blossomed into something deeper. They shared laughter, comfort, and the understanding that they could heal together. One evening, as the sun set over the ranch, casting a warm glow around them, Clara turned to Calter. "I want to do more for the ranch, to create a place where others can find healing," she said, her voice filled with passion. Calter smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "I'd like that. We can create a sanctuary for horses and people alike, a place where everyone can come to heal." With that shared vision, Clara and Calter began to work on their dream, creating what they called Brimstone Sanctuary. The ranch transformed into a haven, where not only horses were cared for, but also those seeking solace from their struggles. As the months passed, Clara and Calter fell more in love, building a life filled with warmth and compassion. They welcomed visitors to the sanctuary, sharing their story of resilience and hope. Their bond deepened as they faced challenges together, proving that love could flourish even in the face of adversity. Together, they were creating a legacy rooted in healing and connection. But their journey was just beginning, as they learned that love, like the wild stallion, needed nurturing to thrive. Brimstone Sanctuary quickly became a beloved part of the community. Families and individuals visited to experience the healing power of the ranch, where Clara and Calter offered riding lessons, workshops, and support for those in need. Clara's cooking, combined with Calter's ranching expertise, created a warm and inviting atmosphere for all. As news of the sanctuary spread, so did the stories of Clara and Calter's journey. They became symbols of hope for many, showing that love and resilience could overcome even the toughest of challenges. The sanctuary grew, welcoming more horses and people seeking comfort and healing. The community embraced them, and Clara and Calter found themselves surrounded by friends and supporters. Their love story inspired others to believe in the power of second chances, and they became a beacon of light in a world that often felt dark. As the years passed, Brimstone Sanctuary flourished. Clara and Calter established programs to help troubled horses and individuals find healing together. They formed partnerships with local organizations, creating outreach initiatives for at-risk youth and veterans, allowing them to connect with the horses and find solace in nature. Their sanctuary became a place of transformation, not just for the horses, but for the people who sought refuge there. Clara and Calter's love story served as a foundation for their mission, showing that compassion and understanding could heal wounds that ran deep. They raised their daughter in this environment of love and acceptance, teaching her the values of kindness, perseverance, and the importance of community. As she grew, she became involved in the sanctuary, embracing the family legacy of healing and connection. The impact of their work extended beyond the ranch, creating ripples throughout the community. Clara and Calter's story became a testament to the belief that love, resilience, and dedication could change lives for the better, inspiring generations to come. Clara and Calter experienced profound transformations throughout their journey. Clara blossomed from a mail-order bride seeking acceptance into a confident woman who found her purpose in helping others. She learned to embrace her strengths and passions, becoming a leader in her community. Calter, once a grieving rancher, rediscovered joy and purpose in his life alongside Clara. Their partnership flourished, and he learned to open his heart to love again. Together, they created a nurturing environment where healing could take place, proving that even after experiencing profound loss, it was possible to find happiness and fulfillment once more. Clara and Calter's story is a powerful reminder that love can blossom in the most unexpected of places. It teaches us that resilience, compassion, and community can heal even the deepest wounds. Embracing our vulnerabilities and nurturing connections can lead to a brighter future filled with hope and joy. This completed narrative captures the journey of Clara and Calter as they navigate their challenges and build a life together, illustrating themes of love, resilience, and the transformative power of connection.